Hello YouTube fam! So these past 2 weeks in Colorado have been a bit chaotic. Hi, I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Dan.
And we're Doom Adventures. Let me just say that the trip started off great. We really busted our asses to get to Colorado and planned to enjoy our full 2 weeks there and not have any issues. This was not the case. We did end up spending the first 3 or 4 days with some friends, which ended up being great because so many things were going wrong with our batteries and solar and things not charging correctly, and it was a huge mess. And on top of this huge mess was the fact that it was 95 degrees out, some days warmer, so it was so fucking hot, which makes everything worse because you're irritated and warm and you can't escape the warmth because we didn't have air conditioning because it was draining all of our power, and then the batteries were going all weird and we just could not figure out what was going on. So that's why this week's video is really boring. If I'm going to be completely honest, this week's video was not full of crazy fun things like we were expecting. What these 2 hikes that we did were when we finally felt like we could enjoy Colorado because our bus wasn't a hot mess.
What are we doing?
Hiking the Dad Gulch.
The Dad Gulch. There's no real amazing view, but we made it. It's been a cool hike. I think we just talked to some ladies. It was like 3.4 miles just getting in here, so now we have to hike back, and we are obviously well prepared, dressed for the occasion. We got the Dad Gulch. Dad Gulch. Dad Gulch Trail, what do you want to rate it at? Between 1 and a 10, 10 being an amazing epic trail.
6.
Why?
It's just different terrain, so I really did enjoy that, but there's not really epic overlooks or crazy beautiful scenery, I guess. I would love to do a trail where it was really high up, but it was challenging for sure.
I would rate it a 3 because it was kind of cool, but nothing like what I know Colorado has to offer. So for Colorado, probably a 3. Nothing out of the ordinary, just a really long 7-mile hike. So this is why I rated the hike a 3 out of 10, because the spot where we parked has way more epic views than the 7-mile hike we went on.
I think I feel bad. I gave it a 6 because I feel bad saying anything in Colorado is mediocre.
But
Definitely got a good workout, so that's good. After making our way through the remnants of a burnt down forest and some sketchy dirt roads, we made our way into a little town called Walden, where we found ourselves surrounded by mountains and fell asleep under cotton candy colored skies.
we are at Moose Goose Nature Trail, so we're hoping to see some moose and some goose.
When we were driving in, we saw some coyotes running, which is cool. Up in the mountains, like up there, there's some mule deer, probably like 5 or 6.
Do we think they're mule deer or?
Oh, yeah. I think they're in. Despite our Colorado trip not starting off exactly how we'd imagined, we were thankful to start it off with new friends and experiences, and end it thankful for all we had seen. Till next time, Colorado. I'm going to share with you 3 things that you should know before starting your trip to Colorado. The first thing you should know before you book your trip to Colorado is that you should plan your parking ahead of time. We spent our first few days in a city near Denver called Loveland and hung out with friends, and we assumed that we would be able to park wherever we wanted. If not, you can always fail safe at a Walmart. But every place that we went, even Walmart, said no overnight parking. Other places that were on iOverlander ended up not working out for us because those now had signs that said no parking. We were lucky enough to actually have friends there that let us park on the street for a few days, but we didn't want to annoy the neighbors, so we kind of felt like we needed to move on. So if you're in the city, anywhere near the Denver area, 0 places were allowing us to park overnight. When we finally decided, let's just go up to the mountains so Danny can fish and we can get away from the heat, there were plenty of pull-offs on the side of the road where we could park overnight without any problems. But in the city, I don't know, you're straight out of luck, I guess. Number 2, make sure you know where your pets can and cannot go. I was under the impression that Colorado was a really pet-friendly state and that pets could just go wherever you could go. I've seen people take their dogs into restaurants, so I assumed we could take our dogs anywhere. This was not true. On our first or second day there, We had planned a few hikes that we wanted to do with a friend. Literally none of those hikes let us take our dogs on the trails. I was shocked. I thought dogs could go on any trail. It's wide open space and beautiful area, but this was not true. We found a few moderately challenging hikes that the dogs could actually go on. Some hikes, the dogs have to be on leashes. One of the hikes that we went on, you just had to be able to have them be under voice command and they could roam wherever. But this wasn't a crazy amazing hike or anything that was on our top list of hikes to do. We also decided one day that we wanted to go to a beach because it was so warm out. The dogs couldn't go in the public area of the beach. They had to be kind of off to the side in the not nice area of the beach. So we did end up going to the beach and staying there with the dogs so they could cool off, but we were kind of shocked that Colorado had so many restrictions on where your dogs can and can't go. Number 3 on our list of things to prepare for before you book your trip to Colorado is plan for the weather. I don't know why we didn't anticipate this, but it was so fucking hot in Colorado. It was 95 degrees. We were boiling in the bus for those 3 days where our batteries were dead. Nothing was charging. We couldn't use the air conditioner, so we were miserable. And also the huge temperature difference when you're down towards the city and when you're actually up in the mountains. We were so thankful when we could finally get into the mountains and be sure we could maintain power. The difference was about 30 degrees from the city, which was 90, 95 on any given day, to up in the mountains, which was about 70 degrees on a good day. If it's too warm down where you are, just head for the mountains. That's probably where you want to be anyway if you're going to Colorado. Anyways, those are my 3 tips for things to prepare for before you go to Colorado. 1, make sure you know where you're parking. 2, make sure you know where your pets can and can't go. And 3, plan for a bunch of different weather situations. Overall, I hope that we can spend more time in Colorado. 2 weeks was not enough. We did not get to explore enough, but I'm excited to see what these other states along the way have to offer us. We're super excited, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
What?
You gotta lean back. There's a wobble. I'm so late.
Come on. Ram, Oaks, come here. Come here. Come on. Cute. Come here, Oaks. Oh, hang on. Look that way. There's a ladybug in your hair. It's cute. Just turn it. Oh, it just flew away. Okay, retake. Here we go.